Boss Moves with Business Acumen is back, live and direct, y'all. I got to say welcome to our listeners, first of all. And I have to say welcome to the Boss Moves family. What's up, Mo? What's up, Trey? What's happening?
What's good? What's good, Charles? What up, Trey?
Going on, Mo?
Man, amazing as usual. There's a lot of boss moves happening. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get right into it. Boss moves happening all around us, but you just can't touch the boss moves that have been made by this e-commerce giant. And today, there's a particular article we're going to talk about. It's in the New York Times on tech. The title is "Amazon is so much bricks and mortar." It's kind of a funny title. Amazon is so much bricks and mortar.
Catchy.
So if y'all don't mind, I'm just gonna read a little bit of this and then we'll get into it. All right? All right. So e-commerce is not a purely online activity. It affects our real world too, in both constructive and potentially harmful ways. Many of us think of Amazon as that button we click to make our stuff magically arrive without the fuss of physical stores. Let me change your minds a little bit. Amazon's e-commerce warehouses, package distribution centers, and hubs for back-end computing gear occupied more than 190 million square feet of space in North America at the end of 2019. That's bigger than the footprint of Kroger's nearly 2,800 supermarkets. In short, to operate in cyberspace, Amazon needs the brick and mortar equivalent of one of America's largest grocery store chains. This is a fun fact for nerds. You're welcome. That's what she said. I'm also mentioning it because I want us to think about e-commerce not as a purely online activity, but one that affects our real world in both constructive and potentially harmful ways. So we're going to stop right there for a minute. And just first off, we have a commercial real estate professional within our midst, within our ranks, within the Boss Moves family. So Trey, I wanna hear your thoughts about this first of all, being that you are in that space.
Right. This is why I really kind of love this article. Residential real estate is a lot different from commercial. We sometimes don't really feel the hits that residential might feel. So right now, really things are still going, especially in areas like Nashville and Atlanta, because they are like central hubs and they're pretty much logistics centers. Like, FedEx is based in Memphis. So with logistics and industrial spaces, that's what everybody needs right now. Actually, I just had a industrial warehouse. It was pretty small. I just listed it last week for lease. They just found on it today. So it literally took a week just to lease out industrial space. So we're not really feeling the effects of any kind of coronavirus or anything. Things are still really kind of going hard, especially with warehouses.
And that's the same. I mean, just to be honest with you, here in DC, it's just like Atlanta and Nashville. Both residential and commercial actually are doing still pretty well right now. So even during the housing crash of 2015, things are still doing pretty well around here. So.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean, like the article says, we often don't really even think about Amazon's physical footprint, just because, usually those big warehouses for them, they're in remote areas. I mean, at the beginning, that's how it really was. Now, what I've seen in Nashville, in North Carolina, I haven't so much seen this in Atlanta yet, but those warehouses are starting to pop up like in not so remote areas. They're starting to pop up in places where
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah,
right.
Man. So I've seen it in Nashville. I've seen it in North Carolina. And I know in many other big cities, there are Amazon warehouses like right around the corner from you.
Yes,
Close to your neighborhood.
This one right here outside of DC in Arlington, Virginia. So they're building it up now. So yeah, you're right.
And think about that logistically. The closer these warehouses are, the faster you're going to get your packages.
That's right.
And we're still in a relatively low tech time with regard to package delivery. I mean, I guess you could say that. I know the logistics, they're starting to incorporate blockchain with a lot of the logistics that have to do with package delivery. But soon, like they've been testing all this drone technology to deliver packages for a little while, for a couple years. So I wonder how that'll change the space and how that'll change, um, how they lease out space in these neighborhoods.
That's true,
But if you don't
Charles.
mind, I want to read a little bit more of this article here.
Okay.
Let me just skip down here. Amazon recently said it planned to increase the space occupied by its e-commerce operation by about 50% this year. Walmart, for another comparison, occupies 700 million square feet in the United States. That's multiple times Amazon's e-commerce occupancy, but arguably that's the beauty of what Amazon does. They're doing more with less space. A lot of Walmart space is walking around room for customers, storage space. They got to have. The only thing Amazon has to deal with is their employees that are actually in there working and processing, and that's probably in the next 10 years is going to drop by 50-60% with robotics and everything we've been reading about for the past 10 years. But as it says in the article, there are trade-offs as the footprint of e-commerce grows and expands into more parts of America. Many of us have had the luxury of not thinking about traffic, noise, pollution from these shopping warehouses because they're far away from where we live. What happens when those warehouses are actually in your neighborhoods next? Our cities and suburbs have not been methodically planned for this likely uptick in package delivery vehicles, e-commerce transportation hubs, and warehouses. I've seen that a lot in Atlanta, right by the airport where I work. You see at any hour of the day, you'll see 15 Amazon vehicles, like at any light around the airport. It's a pretty bustling area. You got Old National Highway, Old Nat L, right over here by the airport. And anytime I'm driving down that street, I go that way to go home. I see at least 15 or 20 Amazon, the big high back Amazon vans. I see them everywhere. So I knew just from that, there's a hub. Got to be a hub right around the corner. I don't know exactly where it is, but I know it's really close. But they're always at the lights, taking up all the roads. So I think we do have to account for that in neighborhood and suburb design going forward. I just wonder how it's going to really affect us.
Right. And it's just so interesting how far Amazon has come because they must see some kind of future with this retail blended market that they're coming up with, having the brick and mortar and still the online business. They must have some kind of future idea of what to do. But I mean, Amazon has come a long way. I think the first physical bookstore was in Seattle back in 2015. And since then, they've been expanding. They bought Whole Foods, and that's
Absolutely.
460 stores in U.S., Canada, and Britain for $13.4 billion. So, they've had a mission from the beginning. Yeah, that was a huge play.
That was a big play.
And then, not only to mention that, but in 2018, they officially opened Amazon Go, which I think we've all heard of the cashierless grocery store. So you can just go in, there's no cashier, you check out, and that's like the future. That's what they're thinking the future is going to be. So
and that's right. Now in these post-COVID times, now you're going to have it where people, that's something you can highlight. Hey, you don't have to interact with, any kind of cashiers or anything else. This is purely you really kind of by yourself, social distance, go in, get your stuff, and you're out. They're really ahead of the game.
They're changing the game. And I guess in these times, like you said, Trey, COVID times, there are plenty of companies that we've seen to go bankrupt. I think it's about 29 to be exact. So there's plenty of open business spaces for Amazon to try to go into to create that, that physical space for them to operate out of.
Right.
I can think off the top of my head, like 29. I think J.C. Penney. Y'all might know a couple of them too. Neiman Marcus, like Pier One Imports. Yeah, Brooks Brothers. I remember Brooks Brothers.
Yep,
Yeah,
Lord and Taylor this week too.
Lord and
Oh,
Taylor,
Lord and Taylor. Wow.
New York and
Yep,
Company.
Lord
There
and
was
Taylor.
another one too. I did see Lord and Taylor.
Yeah, Bush Brothers filed Chapter 11.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of bankruptcy. So Amazon's making a play right now. When things are down, it's time to jump in.
Think about it. Those are if you all the ones that we've named, they're kind of the dinosaur retailers, from the last 20, 30, 40 years that
Right.
probably just don't have, a board of directors that's flexible. They probably have a bunch of, over
No
50,
vision,
over
really.
60-year-olds
Right.
that, aren't adept to making technological moves. And some of these companies that are a little bit more forward thinking, they're becoming really flexible, changing the way they do business, and some of them are even like, helping their bottom lines because of what's going on with coronavirus. So
Absolutely.
it's going to be really interesting. It's interesting. Like when I hear you say those names, I'm thinking that these are like all the companies of my childhood. Shit, like
Right. I remember when these companies came in, they took over places like, I'm not sure if y'all remember, like Castor Knots.
Oh,
remember
man,
that
yeah.
name?
Yeah, casting a knot.
Yeah, Hex. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you call it Hex or Hex.
Yeah.
With that store too. So yeah, it seems to be like a cycle. You got to be able to change with the times, and Amazon's finding a way, kind of blended. They're trying to cover all sides of the market with the online and brick and mortar. So
And the thing about it, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
Oh, you good, bro? You good? But yeah, that's it.
The thing about it is, you got to realize we're social people, so they are changing the way communities are really built. A lot of you're having a lot of live, work, play communities where you don't even have to travel as far. So retail's not going anywhere. People are social.
No.
I mean, we'll stick a mask on and risk. I mean, you see during the coronavirus pandemic, deaths all around the world, people still run around breaking the rules, trying to get outside. I mean, that's just it is what it is. So retail's not going anywhere. It's going to take a hit right now. Now in that place, industrial's going to come up, but because of like e-commerce and things like that. But retail's not going anywhere. And honestly, I think commercial real estate is really a great play right now. Get things while the price are hot. I'm actually kind of on a little buy binge with a few investors trying to get these properties while everything's down. So I think it's a great opportunity in the future.
It definitely is a great opportunity, Trey. I equate everything to like the stock market. There's ups and downs, and right now there's a down in the business commercial real estate play. Right now, it's kind of down with these brick and mortar fashion stores, things like that.
Right.
And Amazon's finding this opening, and they're just going for it. Like I said, they're covering all sides of the market. Some consumers like to shop online, some like still going inside. So they're making sure they get all sides of that. And I think I've read that they're trying to get into fashion. So with that, I mean, you pretty much need a brick and mortar. So people can go in, touch things,
right,
hold them up, how we hold them up to ourselves and see if it fits, that kind of thing.
Right.
So
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, man. Like the new generation, there are companies that have found so much success with these younger generations in buying straight offline, bro. Forever 21, not Forever 21. What's the other one? Fashion Nova. That's what I'm trying to say.
I was about to say
Fashion Nova.
Forever 21 went bankrupt.
I know Forever 21 is brick and mortar, and they went bankrupt. Right. Right. Sorry. See, one of my other ones from my young times that I would actually walk into and walk right back out. But anyway, Fashion Nova, and it's so similar to Fashion Nova, honestly. So it's basically like the same type, cheap materials, cheap clothing from China in Forever 21. And coming from Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova actually, I think their whole strategy is to steal the designs of popular clothing, and they can get it. They have a turnaround time of about 48 hours. Say somebody famous like Savage Fenty, like Rihanna comes up with, has something on her website. They can have it on Fashion Nova in 48 hours, make a small change to it, or sometimes make no change. And it's marked down like 80%. So a lot of these celebrities have expressed like disgust with Fashion Nova, although a lot of them are pushing it. The ones that have their own lines have expressed their own lines have expressed disgust with Fashion Nova because they steal their the blueprints for their clothing, or they just, I don't know, they got somebody that can, make that shit sight unseen. They make it exact and they have it. That's it.
So Charles, let me ask, do you think this is a good move for Amazon to do?
To get into fashion?
No, to get into brick and mortar.
Oh, that's the thing. There's no choice, Mo. Okay. You don't have a choice. If you're going to increase the efficiency of what you're delivering, then and even if most of the stuff you have is coming from overseas, you're gonna get it here so that you can deliver it in a day or two. I mean, in Amazon, like, I love them. Like, I buy something, it's here in like 2 days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It'd be that much quicker with the brick and mortar.
They don't have a choice, and it hasn't always been that way for them. They were just, they were just getting everything from the East, from China. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't, that's before they started guaranteeing 2 and 3 days and having these guarantees and these quick ships. Now that's a thing as of the last 3, 4, 5 years, they don't have a choice. They're gonna have to do that. And it's gonna be more and more. They're just gonna increase. So you do have to think about the fact that in this pandemic, these warehouses, my sister works in Amazon, these warehouses are filled with thousands of employees. She worked like straight through the pandemic.
Wow.
Wasn't nothing slowing down in Amazon. So how is that affecting the pandemic? Like, would there be a study done to see what kind of prevention they have in there, or what kind of transmission rates are in those stores, or does Jeff Bezos have too much money to let that happen? You know what I'm saying? To let the truth come out about something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question.
But I think that's interesting.
I think this is definitely a bold move by Amazon, and you just can't get quality. You can't determine quality through a computer screen like you can in person. So, I mean, it's another level. They're offsetting costs because shipping, that's a cost within itself. Let me see. I think in between 2015 and 2017, the shipping costs doubled to $22 billion for Amazon. So this is going to offset a lot of shipping costs for them, right? And help improve their return process. You can just take it back up to the store and get what you need. So
they partner with several companies too. So they've partnered with some retailers. I don't know if Kohl's is going out of business, but they look like they are. But that's one.
Yeah, I think one of the companies.
Right. I think they're one of them, but it's ironic because they're one of the companies, one of several companies that accept Amazon returns. Like, you'll go in there, you'll see signs. Oh, we accept Amazon returns. Go right up to their customer service, give it to them, they handle it. Right, so that's really interesting thing.
It's another one.
One more thing I should mention when you're talking about how there's no substitute for actually being able to try something on, hold it up, look at it, making sure the fit is right. Mm-hmm. There's no substitute for that experience. However, there is now technology that can ensure fit with your iPhone. There's a measurement and fitting technology on iPhones now. There's a few companies that they're using to make sure of a perfect fit. Like,
I haven't seen it.
Measures your body. Yeah, man. I've seen it. So I wonder if they would incorporate something like that. I think Amazon is technology forward. So I think perhaps they might surprise everybody with something like that.
It must be around the corner because they don't seem to fall back behind too far on technology and the latest.
Richest man, 100 billion plus, right?
That's it,
Jeff. Well, without a doubt, we know that Amazon is a giant in the game, and we had to highlight the boss moves that giant has been making, and it seems like they're going to continue to make. I want to remind everybody to check out our very well curated Boss Moves social media pages. So at BossMoves_BMBA on Instagram and at BossMoves_BMBA on Twitter. It's the same, y'all. We're making it easy for you. Okay, so go check us out.
Hey, we got also a lot of great tips on that Instagram. Yeah, definitely check that out.
Gems.
Very well curated. Very well curated.
Absolutely.
Killing it, Mo. That's Mo. We got to go on and shout it out. Mo curates those hard. I sprinkle a little bit of my dust in there a little every once in a while.
Definitely.
But Mo really curates that thing, bro. And check out BMBAinvesting.com. Is our other, I guess that's also social media, you know. I guess, no, it's an internet presence, not quite social media. But check us out on there if, you know, you need some tips about taxes, if you need some advice about investing. We don't give financial advice, but, you know, we'll be happy to talk with you. And if you want to try to partner on something, we're always looking for others making boss moves like we are, because we are constantly on the search for the next boss move we're gonna make. That wraps it up for us today, fellas. Good talk. I love talking about boss moves, and I know y'all do too, man.
Definitely. Give us y'all's feedback. That's what the website's for too. Give us your feedback. BMBAinvesting.com. Let us know what y'all think of the show. We know y'all out there listening, so give us some feedback, good or bad. Rate us on podcasts. We're on every platform now. Give us 5 stars if you're liking it. If you're not liking it, leave a message on our BMBA website so we can try to improve. That's what we're here for. We're here for the people.
Yes, sir. And with that, Boss Moves is out. Y'all have a good one. Be safe.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.